We're back. The dynamic duo is back at it again. You know what, Steve? There's no need to introduction. I think. Are we ready? It's been a couple of weeks. It's our
Let's go.
birthday
Let's
week.
go. Let's
Let's go.
go.
Let's go. Here we go. Where's our intro? Here we go.
Welcome to the Milan Weekly Podcast, the English voice of Milan fans all over the world, with your hosts, Vinny T and Stevie P.
Benvenuti nella casa
Giro in area, si gira, sinistro, rete, gol capolavoro di Olivier Giroud.
Mignon with another magical save.
Mamma mia, Teo Hernandez, coast to coast, nel numero 19.
Leao carica il mancino. Eccolo qua, Rafa Leao.
Il Milan è campione d'Italia.
Cari amici sportivi, welcome you to another edition of the Milan Weekly Podcast. Here we talk everything Milan, another 1-0 win Milan, and seems to be back on track Milan. Stevie P, Vinny T. Oh, Stevie, you got the co-host MW. I should do that on the next one. But StreamYard, all these updates, and that's what all your hard-earned money goes towards Patreon. Thank you for that. And see, before we begin, we keep on talking about subscribing. And you know what? Let me put up that little video that we have. Where is it? Yes, you guys all know what to do, correct? But I want to give a shout out, Steve. I think since day one, Liban Youssef. Can I give him a shout out? He's been there since day one. He's always there with the comments, interacting with everybody. Liban, thank you so very much for the support. Tell everybody what they need to do in the comments. Like, subscribe, turn the little tigamajiggy notification on. But thanks to him, and it's always nice to see the following that we have. Right, Steve?
Yeah, greatly appreciated all the support, guys. And building the community. We got Fabio and Gio on board. A little bit of Latino heat from Gio. A little bit of milk white New York butter from Fabio, and we got Jan, we got the Presidente, we got Sunny the designer who's going back to Norway soon. We'll have him back. Guys, that's all part of the community and what I like to preach: calcio content, no matter who, guys. We try to support everybody. We try to interact and spread the word of calcio and Serie A, which we love, right? So.
And look at Sabrina on the Twitch machine.
Sabrina on Twitch, just extending our social media status to other platforms. Love it.
I love it there. And yeah, guys, thank you very much for all that, all those comments and the subscriptions and the likes. We truly appreciate it. Steve, it was a Saturday, 12 o'clock to Christian. Is there a special guest today? No, not today.
I'm the special guest.
He is the special guest. Look at him. We do need to. By the way, you called Fabio a white milk. What? But if he's Italian,
butter from New York. What else could he be?
But what if he's Italian? What kind of a cured meat is he? Is it a sopprezzata? Is it a salami? Is it
he's
a
butter? We're gonna call him butter. I like to call him butter because he's smooth and he slides.
Saturday, 12 o'clock game. Let's get straight into it. Again, what did they call this, Steve? The Berlusconi Derby. I wasn't able to watch everything from beginning to end because I was at work, and obviously, with my luck, it's dead as soon as the game starts. I have my computer in the back. I'm trying to run back and forth. A lot of questions about the formation, which I'm going to get into after. But Steve, give me your general impressions, your general thoughts of this game. And did you see the CDK? Did somebody give him the malocchio? Because we saw that video on whatchamacallit, what's that thing the kids use nowadays? TikTok, trying to get rid of Malocchio. But the formation, I don't think that was a surprise to you at first. Selection of players.
He was gonna play selection of players again with the Tottenham game in midweek and then Monza away. I felt a little bit of a chance for him to get some people some minutes, and I think he did that. but the formation, I thought he was going to stay the same, and he did stay the same. Not too worried about that. The obvious, the obvious people that are missing from this formation that we would love to see is we would finally like to see Mike Maignan back and Benacer back. And I think they're starting to kind of get comfortable with this formation. The game was, for me, a little bit of a little trap game, because coming off the win against Tottenham, I thought maybe we're going to drop a couple of points, or make it more complicated, which we did make it complicated. We could have finished this game off quite quickly. I'm disappointed in Origi. I just don't think he's that person who gives us what Giroud gives us when he's on the field. I know he's a different type of player. Giroud is more a hold-up guy, and this guy is more run off the ball. But I find that he's slow. I don't know if it's just not game shape, which is crazy to say after all this time. He was my big disappointment of the game. Imagine, was not something pleasant to look at.
Is he your flop of the game?
Yeah, I'm gonna give him the flop of the game. Yep.
Okay. How about Krunich's performance? I think you had a bit of, on both ends, both spectrums. I felt that you had a lot of, I know in the chat they kept on talking about how he was losing a lot of balls, but then you have Ambrosini coming out and saying that Krunic played a very good game. Was it even too close to comfort for you, the score line? Give me your thoughts about that.
Yeah, I think it was too close for comfort. I think they should have finished it off. They had some chances. Leao had a big miss, where he has to score those types of goals, especially he's not getting the rest. We keep him on the field, which, justfully so. We don't have anybody to break a game open like Leao, and especially if we take him off, we have absolutely no one. I think Tonali and Krunic were both terrible.
Okay.
There was no Ambrosini's trying to find some kind of and I hate when the pundits do that. It wasn't a great game. It wasn't a good game for the soccer neutral. Not something that you could sell Serie A on. It was very sloppy, but I've been disappointed in Tonali for quite some time. Krunic, guys, this is what we're gonna get. We understand that we're gonna get the hit and miss. And we got it this game, but from Tonali I expect a lot more, and I didn't like his game either, and neither did I like his game at Tottenham or Torino.
It correlates to Fabio's question from Coast to Coast on Patreon, and I wanted to see if this makes sense to you. Like, ciao fellas, I'm just happy we're back to winning ways. Not gonna lie, the past month felt pretty bad, and I don't want to make everything sound wonderful now after 3 wins, because our offense still leaves a lot to be desired. But I'm happy we're back to getting clean sheets. One player I still believe needs to step up in his game is Tonali. Gio always says it's because he's expected to perform on and off the field. Do you think Benacer being out has been the cause for his 2023 dip in form? Always the best. Keep up the great work. Your brother from Long Island. Correlating, we can't, this is not a science. This is not like it's because of that. But if we need to take a look at that one factor, that is it because they play well off each other? Is it because Benacer, I think we have missed Benacer, and I'm not saying that Benacer not playing is the reason why we've lost, but we haven't seen him play with him, and the performances haven't been to the Tonali we've come to see, right? Not consistently, right, Steve? He's gone through very good spell, then went down, but is Benacer maybe one of the key things that are causing this? Or
no, that's an excuse. I think it's on Tonali. He's at his best when he's his body language is positive, where he's looking up the field to make passes instead of his back to the offense. The last couple of games, Tottenham, Torino, and even before the Sassuolo, Lazio, those games where we got our ass kicked, we saw a lot of Tonali with his back towards the offense and always looking towards the defense. I understand that he has to come deep to get balls, but all of his passes seem to be either neutral or negative. And, he's not testing the defenders with Either long balls, yes, but he has some passing range, and I don't think has the confidence to give those offensive attacking players those through balls. It's very hard. Calcio and Serie A have done a disservice to the game in cutting out those through balls. They almost rarely exist. But there's a lot of garbage to Tonali's game, and we saw the chat went crazy. At one point, the ball came to him, and he tried to one time it to Tio Hernandez, and he completely missed him. And instead of us going on a counter, we ended up having a throw in our zone. We don't need that, especially from someone like Tonali. We see that from Krunic, we rip him apart. But Tonali needs to shoulder some of that blame as well. And I think, too, the big knock on Tonali, and I've said this for a long time, and, to all those people who try to compare him to Barella, Tonali around the net is not a danger. Is not dangerous. Not dangerous enough. I think that he, in the position that he plays, where he has to lay back a bit outside the box, he should be able to pick up a lot of trash balls that he should be knocking in, at least on target. And I don't think he's getting involved enough. And that's a big problem. And that's not with Benacer there or not there. That's him and his game. Like, something needs to change in his mindset where he needs to play a little bit more positive instead of negatively.
Speaking of this kind of formation, even on Twitter, Gary Mulroney is saying, do you think that the current 3-4-2-1 system, he calls it the meta, the most effective tactics available with the current group of players? And then you have Max Lombardi saying, would you stick with this formation with the return of Magnan? What do you think, in your opinion, needs to change to improve our attack after these great defensive performances? And Gigi Lapatat is Pioli pulling in the Allegri masterclass. A couple of more questions about the formations, but to those two do we need to stick with this?
They're gonna stick with it. They're gonna stick with it because Magnan becomes a fourth defender. That's the big difference between Tatarusano and Magnan. Besides, obviously, the athletic ability and actually shot-stopping power. Magnan becomes a fourth defender just because of the range of his passes.
Yeah.
The three is in trouble. He's going to find someone in the midfield. The three is in trouble. The midfield is clogged. He's going to find Giroud. With Tatarusano, we don't get that. That's just the nature of being the backup goalie and the nature of the team addressing the backup goaler out of emergency and not really taking into account what the formation needs. That back four, when we play with it, Magnan is always giving someone a pass or finding someone open to relieve some of the pressure. Tatarusano can't do that, and just by passing the ball and playing those goal kicks short, you see that he's not comfortable. He's quickly wanting everybody to go out so he can kick it out.
But I was reminded when watching the last game live at the bar is that they were passing back the ball to Tatarusano, and I had a flashback of looking at you when that used to happen to Donnarumma. You used to cringe. It's like, oh, is he gonna fuck up on those ones? At least he doesn't have great feet, but it looks like
it's crazy, Vinny. It's fine, and we joked about it, and it's okay. Like, you have some players, and again, this is what the game has become. The goaler needs to be able to play with the ball at his feet. But again, it happened at Milan, and we crucified him. It's still happening at PSG.
Yes,
they're still doing it. It cost them a Champions League, and they're still doing it. Like, that's not smart. And the talent that PSG has, if you can't get out of the back, God, you guys have some serious problems.
Definitely. Yango Christodoulakis, which I believe is in the comments, talking about the formation, he thinks Calabria's days are numbered if he can, unless he can play a right center back. If they continue with this, do you think Calabria has nowhere to in this formation?
The starting lineup, I think both Macias and Salchicha Maker have been doing okay. I think Salchicha Maker against Tottenham was actually pretty good.
Yeah,
it was surprisingly pretty good. But that's the kind of game that you're that he wants He wants an athletic style running up and down where he's playing against a bunch of lumberjacks, because that's what he was playing against Tottenham.
But like if you think about to his question of Calabria, maybe his days are numbered. Thinking about when Florenzi does come back, and I'm not saying Florenzi is the future, but Florenzi has those possibilities of playing right wing back. Can Calabria do it? I don't see why not.
You can, but then there's too many people for the same position. You're almost at 4 people.
Almost 4 people, so makes sense on those ones. And the Joy says Magic Mike coming back maybe will be saw in upcoming games. Sundays will be Milan's biggest test. It's our poor run in January. Is right wing and striker still our weakest links looking towards the final stages of the season?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes, definitely. Shane on Patreon,
It's not
saying,
even a weakness anymore. It's a gaping hole.
Thank you. Shane saying this new formation really makes us look solid at the back. Most of those shots from the
Whoa.
Let me finish this question.
Oh my God.
Shane is a positive guy. There's Husney on one end, right? And then there's Shane, the hopeless romantic, as Franco called me last week. Most of the shots from the opposing team are coming from outside the box. Regarding the Monza game, do you guys think we sat back too much towards the end of the game and gave them way too easy a time with the ball? Did we take foot off the pedal?
We sat back too much against Torino. We sat back too much against Monza. And we weren't clinical with the chances that we had. And that makes it look like negative football. Guys, it's not pretty. You could say, yeah, we're getting 3 points. And Milan Twitter could say, hey, we're back 3 points. Our thumbnail today is Resurgence. Guys, it's a Harry Houdini move. They were able to get Chow in the game because of injury. They seem to be gelling at the back. Whether we saw Kajar, Kalulu, and Chow in the Champions League, or what we saw over the weekend, Kajar for Tamori and the regular 2. It's not good football. It's not nice football. It's ugly. It's something that you can't sell the game with. But again, you want to get results. You want to get away from these negative results. It would look nicer if they would put 2-3 behind the keepers that we're playing, but we're not doing that, and we're edging out 1-0 wins against Monza and Torino, where we're absorbing a lot of pressure that against a better team they're gonna find the back of the net.
Speaking of better team, everybody was happy Atalanta lost points, but I'm on the other side. It's like, well, they lost points. I know they, against they've been up and down, but you still got Atalanta on Sunday, Steve, and they're gonna go with the same. You think they're gonna go with the same players?
I don't think he changes anybody unless Benacer is healthy and Magna is healthy. I don't think he makes any changes, but I think Giroud plays. I don't think Origi can play. And just that is a big upgrade because Origi doesn't give us anything. Brahim Diaz was okay. I think he was good against Tottenham. He slowed down again against Monza, but that's traditionally what Brahim Diaz does.
And I'm going to ask you because we have 2 questions left, but they're not about the game. Vinny had a question. Winnipeg Vinny a question about our number 10 Diaz, and even Gio another question from another player. But Steve, why don't we just go through a little bit of is the soundboard ready? Because Liban Youssef likes his thing. Do you want to go through a bit of Serie A? What say you?
Let's go.
Napoli, Sassuolo. I know in your hearts you're all there every game. Maybe this is the one. I love it when you guys look at Napoli against Cremonese or Salernitana. Guys, Sassuolo has not been very good, and this wasn't going to be. I know it was 0-0 at halftime, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know if you were able to catch this one here, Steve.
Yeah, Sassuolo kept all their goals for us and then never scored again.
Okay.
Napoli's just it was good. They were good. Sassuolo just doesn't have it, guys. Berardi's hurt. They're missing some key players. They've sold and not replaced. It's gonna take a lot to beat Napoli. I don't know if Oshiman, how badly he's injured, but it seemed like he came out. They have a lot of weapons, though. it was a typical Napoli game. They got at them, they suffocated them, and they scored 2. You see, they scored 2 and we score 1.
Sampdoria, you're going to Serie B.
Yeah,
Sampdoria
this
next
was
year
the
is
battle of the Tripleta Inter. The nicest thing was Thiago Motta and Stankovic hugging.
that's about it. Inter Udinese, I watched. What a great, that goal, the 1-1. And Steve, I was looking at when they scored the 2-1. Udinese, I think they had a 4-on-3 a play that looked like they were about to score. And what happens? They take it all the way back and they score. And I got mad. I was like, is it fucking possible? This Inter team. And then I'm like, when you got quality in a team like Inter, you make them pay, right? You make them pay for their mistakes. They went up to try to do counterattack, but not starting their usual starters. There's a rift between Barella and Lukaku. But were you surprised at this result? Or everybody was saying it might be a tough game, but
at 2-1, it was still a game. It's the third goal. That's not defending that you usually see in Serie A. But it's not the first time Lautaro Martinez has turned someone. He did the same thing to Tomori in the Super Cup. It always almost looked like a carbon copy goal. I think Inter was good. I think Udine put up a fight, but in the end, the quality shows, right? And again, see, similarly, Inter scoring 3 and we're getting away, but it's 3 points. It's just it looks more convincing when you put up 3.
And yeah, that's very true. A surprising result, Atalanta Lecce. I will give, I'll put this as a Brioski. Guys, the guys that scored, what's his name from Atalanta? You're down 2-0. There's 15 minutes left. He's running like, no, I'm going to go after. And he put the pressure on the goalie and it just deflected back into the goal. In the comments, I'm sure they're going to tell me the name of the goal scorer. You know what? Passion. He didn't give up and he kept on running. I was really happy to see a player just give us all here, but a very surprising.
He's a robot. That's
what's his name?
He's a Norwegian guy.
Hugen. The guys are gonna. But in the end,
he has the O with the slash inside, but it doesn't mean it's a 0. But
Atalanta has no business losing at home to Lecce, Steve.
No, but Lecce's been good, guys. Lecce's been good.
True.
Gave a lot of people a tough time. Gave Milan a tough time. They've been giving a lot of their opponents a tough time. They're not an easy 3 points anymore. Hugeland.
Thank you, Facebook Frank.
Facebook Frank. Put him on the board, Facebook Frank, so he could take a screenshot and he could put it as a screensaver, so that he could forever be known as Facebook Frank on Milan Weekly Podcast. Frank check.
Hugeland.
And that guy is a robot and a steal for Atalanta. Very jealous with picking up guys like that when we spend ridiculously stupid money on people like Origi, and they pick up guys like this for a fraction of the price, and they are exactly what we were looking for. People with energy, continuously running. You said it. The 90-something minute, he was still almost at now. Is he on roids? We have absolutely no idea. But he just doesn't stop.
It's nice to see, yeah. Steve, what is Joe, one of the owners at the bar? He's a Fiorentina fan, right? And I asked him,
well, that's a lie. No one's really a Fiorentina fan.
They're him, the older man.
Fans.
He's the older man. The bald guy. He's one of the original owners. Daniela's dad. Anyways, I go, what's happening? Like, they suck this year, Steve.
Yeah, only Verona is in a worse position than last year at this time.
Wow.
Yeah, so Fiorentina is not picking up the points where they should. They're tying against teams like Empoli where they should be winning. There's a serious problem at Fiorentina. There's a rift between the fans and the owner. Kumbararok needs to understand what he wants to do. This is not a great situation, and I know he's made great points about the league and how they do nothing for the owners that come in. He thinks of himself as Italian, but in reality, they think of him as a stranier, and that's the major flaw of Serie A. If you're not born on the boot or the foot
He
of
was
the
born in
continent.
Calabria, un paese.
Yeah,
un
but
paese
as
me-
soon as you go away, he's known and branded as an Americano,
Hmm.
right? And they're fast to jump on him. But no other person was able to fork up money to buy Fiorentina when they were in trouble. So
Very.
the fans need to realize and understand that no one else was coming to buy Fiorentina, guys.
What are they at, Steve? Fiorentina. Guys,
14.
25 points. Wow.
Juve's ahead of them and they're minus 15 points, guys.
Wow.
That's
It's pretty bad.
tragic for Fiorentina. They're
And
still
let's
not
look
gonna
at
finish.
let's look at that. Spezia is only 6 points behind. I'm not saying that Fiorentina is going to get relegated, but
No.
it's something to look at, right?
I think they're gonna turn it around. It's just them. They've made some purchases that were very interesting, looked very appetizing for the new season. But I don't think it's coming to fruition for them, and they're gonna need to find a way to create some harmony there because Fiorentina is constantly fans against the ownership, but the fans need to understand this is what Serie A is. Don't blame
Kucherov.
Combarocco. This is what it is.
Lazio went back to being Dr. Jekyll, like that last week they were Mr. Hyde. And if they didn't win against Salernitana, I think that was going to be a big no surprises here. Steve, I don't know if you have anything to say until we move on to Juventus, Spezia.
Look, Ciro Immobile scores against Salernitana, but forgets to put on his scoring boots against the other teams. They needed him last week, and he didn't show up for them. The Lazio fans are quick to jump. Immobile is back. Yeah, but very inconsistent this year. I know he dealt with injury. I watched this game. Look, Lazio is exactly what you said. Jekyll and Hyde. You never know which one you're going to get.
And it's funny that we've been saying that for like 6-7 years, and it hasn't grown old because it really
there's
is
6-7 years. There's two things guaranteed we've been saying when we talk about Serie A for 6-7 years. One, Fiorentina is the surprise or the disappointment, and Lazio is Jekyll and Hyde team. That's for 7 years. We should even make a T-shirt.
Juventus Spezia, no surprise here either. Steve was not able to watch this one here, but
this was a snooze fest. Oof, it was disgusting. What a shit game. So shit. But again, their result looks more convincing than our result. And imagine, I think Milan probably played better than Juve.
In the end, it's the result. Like you always say, in a year from now, you're just going to look at 3 points, 2-0 win, right? Not who played better, who played worse. But Juventus keep on rolling, right? And they got the 3 points against Spezia. Roma, snooze fest, you said. I think this one was a little bit of a snooze fest as well, Steve. Roma coming off, they lost, right, in Europa League last week. And coming off Verona, beating Verona 1-0. I don't know if you were able to catch this one.
Yeah, I was able to watch it. This too was not very interesting. Not a great Sunday for Calcio. Let's put it very honestly to anybody who might chime in from EPL. Not a great Sunday for you guys to tune in. If you had trouble sleeping, you're probably going to fall asleep
on this one. And Torino, hey, you know what, the most goals scored in the week with the Inter is the Torino Cremonese with 2-2 today, so at least some sort of excitement to close off the week in Serie A. And finally looking at the table, Steve, obviously we know Napoli's going to win the Serie A. I don't see how possibly they cannot win the Serie A. Second,
never say never.
Second to sixth spot, only 6 points of difference there. Yes, Atalanta losing points this week. Lazio getting those 3 points. Next Sunday, going to be a big game, Steve. And I think right now, other than Sampdoria and Cremonese, for me, for sure, going back down, I think it's going to be for that third spot. Who's going to go down? You got Salernitana 21, Spezia 19, Verona 17. How many more games is there left? This was week 20...
Match day 23, right
23,
there.
right?
Right in front of your
Oh,
face.
my God.
Match day 23.
Way to go, Vinny. Way to go. So on did he have another and the upcoming matches, right? So Atalanta on Sunday, the following Saturday against Fiorentina as
Oh yeah,
Wednesday.
Fiorentina is gonna put up a master class on that Saturday, March 4th, right before Tottenham, guys. You heard it here.
What do you have to say? That be a bit positive. It's okay. We're gonna we're gonna win. We're gonna win. We're gonna win. Tottenham, Milan, and then we go. We host the Salernitana. Oh, March 3:45. Yeah, the time
Oh
changes.
God,
Right.
the time changes again.
You
Is
know,
someone gonna not like stop changing the time on us? Like, can someone make a decision?
some countries don't change. Some countries do. I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyways, Steve, I have a couple of more questions for you, and well, for us, Gio, coast to coast, Gio. Keep up the great work, guys. You know what? You guys keep up the great work, Gio and Fabio. Again, getting more views than the Monday show. Good for you guys. Keep up the great work. I'm always reading those comments. Everybody seems to enjoy your stuff. Do you think Dest is better option at right wing back if healthy to open up our offense with our 3-man defense? P.S. I'm not saying to shit on Salad. Message to Pioli. Please continue play Chow, even if he makes mistakes, so he can learn from the people. Need to relax on the comparisons to Thiago Silva and Nesta. Let him be his own player. Chow. Yes, and we will talk about that after. But do you think Steve Dest is a better option at right wing than Salamakers?
Best is a better option to go back to Barcelona.
Kind of answered your question there, Gio. And Vinny from Winnipeg. Good evening, gentlemen. Can we please talk Diaz? I'm really tired of this player getting recognized as one of our best just because he scores the atrocious tap-in goal in every 8 to 12 games. His lackluster performances and inconsistency should be enough evidence to let this loan expire and focus on others. Sure, his positioning and attention to put himself in these finishing opportunities is a positive, but apart from that, I see nothing else that justifies a $20 million purchase. He clearly does not have the right characteristics for a world-class number 10. Management must be taking some pretty intense drugs if you think a 5'7" number 10 is what Milan needs going into 2023. And P.S. Someone gave CDK Malocchio. Yes, we definitely think that one there. I know you said that you liked his performance in the Champions League, Steve, and I know that you're not going by well. He scored a goal because you depict. No, I know.
Was tough. He was tough. He played against a very physical opposition, and I think he was tough. But again, back Monza, exactly what was said. Back to inconsistent, back to losing the ball, back to holding the goddamn ball for too long, and I think he doesn't have the composure to be a number 10. Everything seems to be difficult, and usually the number 10 is someone with class and someone who can manage that offensive final third. No, Diaz is not the answer, guys. The answer is CDK, whether we like it or not. It is the answer. It's Malocchio, it's bad luck, it's Scarogna, whatever you want to call. It's a combination of a lot of things. And no, today in the Gazzetta they were saying, will one goal unblock him? I don't even think it's one goal. I think this year is scrapped. It's the same thing we did with Tonali, same thing we did with Leao. The first year is getting used to it. I'm okay with that. It's next year where it's, come on, now I need to see what
do you find. I don't know who had said this, but I remember it was a great. Was it you, Steve? I'm not saying I'm going to go back to. Do you think that the criticism of CDK is coming in because he was our only signing?
No, it's because
Milan just signed one guy,
things.
right?
Yeah, it's the price tag, right? 30 is a lot for Serie A, especially a team that doesn't have a budget. You spend 30 on him, and then you see what Atalanta was able to do with Lookman and the robot.
Do you still believe in him? Have you given up?
Of course, yes, of course.
I don't know where people are giving up on this kid.
I don't know how you could give up on him after.
On Tottenham, remember Leao went to grab him, and he's like, "It's okay," like that moral support, because you could see it in his face, like like
he actually said, "It's gonna come, bro. It's gonna come, bro."
And even against Monza, right? I had that great opportunity, and it's got to come. But I don't know if it's gonna come coming off the bench, Steve.
Well, right now he doesn't. He hasn't done anything to merit the starting position.
True.
So whether you like Diaz or not, he's been doing more. He's been showing a lot of energy. He's been showing a lot of grinta, and I don't think CDK is built that way. Also, it's the players around him, right? He seems like someone who likes to touch the ball a lot and be involved in the play. I find like sometimes we're kind he kind of gets he becomes Casper the Friendly Ghost. He's invisible. He's not there. But then he'll do something take off on a little run and draw a foul, and you say, okay, he's back.
Hmm.
But he can't disappear. He can't be in and out of games.
We'll see what the season says, but no, I'm with you, Steve. I'm not giving up on this kid. And yes, the price tag is high. Yes, he was only signing, but if we give up with all these players, the ones that we gave up on, it didn't come back favorable. So let's see how that goes. Steve, I know I did speak about my brioche. Do you have a brioche of the week, or brioche or indigestion? We're gonna go into the busted tweets.
Yeah, you said it. I like a lot of the players. It's not just Leao. It's pretty much everybody, either on the field showing it with going and see him, or on social media, which they become professionals at, is giving support to CDK and understanding that he's under a lot of pressure. Uh, I think that's a good team. That's a good team decision, because they're going to only be stronger with him than without him, because we don't have anybody to replace him. And Vince Mancini is 100% right. CDK is the long-term solution. We just need to see the same CDK that dominated in his club, showed flashes of brilliance in Champions League. We need that CDK to come up and start playing in Serie A, because the season is 23 match days in, and we haven't seen that real CDK.
This week, I will be, guys, I'm going to be, like I do every year, going to be putting it on Twitter this Wednesday. Stevie P turning a glorious 42. Saturday, I'm turning a glorious 43. And the only thing we're asking for is a win, right? A win against Atalanta and a great performance on the Champions League. And so that's where we're going to be, the Club Montreal. We shall be at Chicharo's on Sunday, 2:45. Nathan's saying like next season needs time to settle, and just like it took Will out and Ali and Benes, and that's what I keep on telling people, right? But people just want now, but Frank, he has an indigestion. Milan bringing a soccer camp back to Canada, but charging $727 after tax, while other camps are charging for less. Steve, is this legit, this whole Milan camp? Did we validate the Presidente check?
It seems as if it's legit, Frank. You're not happy with the price, buddy. Go start your own soccer camp.
At $700.
That's unfortunately what it costs. This is the price to pay.
It is what it is, right?
It is what it is, man. That's a lot of inventory and a lot of prestige coming there. We're not gonna start comparing camps and stuff. I think it's a good experience for kids. I do agree that it's a bit expensive, but again, I'm not gonna give it a brioche, because who am I to make the price of what it's gonna cost?
I think the indigestion, Steve, are gonna go with the busted tweets, are they not?
Yeah, if it's the one we saw, absolutely. The whole world knows it's an indigestion.
So
it should be an abomination.
You know what? Let's do the. I like these great conversation, integrating all the questions.
Ragazzi, ciao Ale, come stai?
Ciao Presidente, il vero Presidente, come stai te? Tutto bene?
Tutto bene, grazie.
Can we get a T-shirt with just this face and go just "Ciao Presidente"? I think they would sell like hotcakes. Steve, Jan, he got promoted at work. He works a bit more at nighttime, but he's there. He's giving us the busted tweets. So maybe you're gonna make an appearance soon on the show. Are we ready for slide the number 1, Steve?
Let's go.
Slide number 1 at Gazzo9545. 2 wins and people are back to gassing up the bald fraud and the worst director in history of football. So I'm assuming that he's talking about Uncle Fester, the Condor, the worst director in history of football. Please explain where this comment comes from, Steve.
I don't think he's talking about that.
Who's he talking about?
I think he's talking about Pioli and Maldini.
The bald fraud, 2 wins in a row. Did Jan explain this? Why would he say the
Well,
bald fraud?
because
The
they
worst.
won against Torino and they won against
Yeah, that's I was freaking. I'm like the bond director.
and yeah, I'm pretty sure that I don't know why we would have a busted calcio tweet about Maldini.
Who's our director? He's not bald. So this is really
Well, the
just.
technical director is Maldini, Vince.
Yes, I know, but he's not bald.
Yeah, but he's talking about two different people. Haven't you okay tonight or no?
I'm okay. Yeah, I'm just trying.
Two
2 wins.
wins, and people are gassing up the bald fraud, which is Pioli, and the worst director in the history of football,
Got it.
which for this
got it.
person is Maldini.
And he says, "Yep, talking about Pioli. Thank you, Sabrina. Pioli. So Pioli is a ball fraud, and the worst director is Maldini. So Gazzi does not like the management, Steve, on this one. Busted.
Yeah, completely busted. I don't know if Gazi understands, but we did win a Scudetto last year, so no one here in the normality of Milan Weekly Podcast or how normal we actually think we are, and how the great people that listen and view our podcast think we are or they are. No one said he's the greatest he's the greatest director in history. He's made mistakes. It's obviously, but Milan was at a point where we needed someone to step in who had pedigree, who had connections, which he obviously does, a head on his shoulder, someone da Milan. Was it the best selection? No, but at that point in time, we had no choice. No one was touching Milan with a 10-foot pole.
Steve, is this profile picture of is that Hakan and Mirabelli?
I have absolutely no idea, but it's just talking about the busted Calcio tweet. Again, Pioli. No one said he's the best manager ever. We've come out and said
we never believed that he was taking us to that next level.
He's not going to be the one to take us to that next level again. For how handcuffed we are by Serie A, but to come out and I don't know who he's following on Twitter or on social media, but it seems like Sabrina really knows a lot about this guy.
Sabrina, we should give us some information there. So
he has an agenda against Maldini, and he loves Gazidis. Well,
he struck a nerve.
We love Gazidis too. We love Gazidis too. I prayed that he didn't want to make Milan Arsenal again, and he didn't make them Arsenal, but he did fix our book. So I'm happy and a big Gazidis fan, and I think he did it with class. So what do you want to do? Busted tweet. Go to
busted tweet. Slide number 2. Oh no, who does this? Steve, I know you hate the comparison kind of stuff. So Malik Chow, pretending that whole Spider-Man thing, is it you or the same people with Stam and and Thiago Silva? I get it, but stop comparing.
No, I don't get it at all. This is
like he's had 4 games. How are you comparing to Stam and to Thiago Silva? Like, I'm trying to understand. I Gio had said the comparison, stop the comparisons, but no, this is completely busted. It's like, if we're gonna trash on people saying Fagioli or the next Pirlo, we're gonna do the exact same thing.
I think this is more of a tweet for the artwork than it is for the. It's pretty nice. I got to give it to him. It's really nice.
Yeah.
But again, people who've chimed in multiple times, and for the longest time that we've been on, I hate comparing people. I don't like it. I just want to see him play. I think he was great. Great in the Champions League. For someone who played Champions League for the first time, I think he didn't look phased. He was dealing with a big body up there. I think Kajar and him both did a good job on Mrs. Kane. I think she had trouble. Kane? Yeah, Mrs. Kane, because he's a baby. He's just always on the floor. He had trouble, posting up. And I think he was physical. look, you can't ask for someone to get adapted to a position that's harder than the center back, especially moving from a 4 to a 3. Than this young guy. So let's give him a shout out for being Malik Chow and not comparing him to other people.
Slide number 3. You heard it here first. If this team remains fit, it can win us the Champions League.
This is honestly, it's too bad. We wasted a lot of busted Caucho tweets this week that could be potential winners, but we all know what the winner is. This is absolutely like, come on, guys, please. Let's. I love Milan too. I always want to see them win, but this team is not winning a Champions League. We're actually playing
the enthusiasm, but let's be realistic.
Yeah, we're actually still playing with 10 men. Imagine. So,
next one. Redbird killed the good vibes around the club in under a season, and some cocksuckers are still thanking Elliot for saving the club. A photo of Young Hong Lee.
Yeah, which is already a red flag. We know that this guy is looking for interaction, so he really wanted to make it to busted Caucho tweets.
Yes,
and he said, "What can get Yan really riled up? Exactly this. Put a picture of Young Hong Lee and criticize Redbird for the 6 months that they're in." 6 months that they're in ownership, and let's criticize Elliot, who basically saved the club from going absolutely bankrupt and to Serie A D, for us all to cry and never have anything close to talking about Serie A for the longest time.
Definitely. And what else do we have? That Elliott Group from USA did a terrible job with AC Milan, then sold them. Not a good candidate, in my opinion, at Mark Goldbridge. So they did a terrible job with AC Milan, then sold them. Not a good candidate. So not only did they financially saved us, balanced the books somehow, some way, let go of the spending. So maybe the product on the pitch was not what we were expecting, but I don't know where this guy, he's I don't know if it's Twitter blue, Steve. Is he a legit person? I'm not sure, but
he's a United fan, so already you think that there's already a couple of screws missing in these people. But if you would look in his own backyard, he had the Glazer family, which is also another American family, who took the United brand and dragged it through the trash, through the absolute trash for years. And not even a hedge fund like Elliott. You could have expected something like that from Elliott. We knew that this was going to happen. We were not shocked that what their end game was. We always said it. We knew the Elliott fund was going to come in, try to fix the books, and then sell. We did not expect to win a Scudetto out of this. We should have never won a Scudetto out of this. That was not the plan. It was to get an owner who was back into looking at the best interest of the club as a brand, and to make sure that we can sell shirts and advertising and so on and so forth. And they did that for us as well, and then sold us for a ton of money. And so I would think the United fans are the least.
He's a streamer,
qualified, Steve. Least qualified, and he's a streamer too. So he plays FIFA. So he interacts with his own. He can move everybody back and forth and make whatever transfer he feels good. And he's qualified to tell us who did a good job and who's good to buy United. Well, United's going to be bought by someone who's going to go into his golden cookie jar and pull out $8 billion, because that's what he has in his cookie jar. And he's going to buy your club with zero debt. And then all the United fans that made fun of City have to shut their mouth, because they're going to be in the exact same situation. But now it's going to be okay, because United fans are kind of similar to Juventus fans. Is that if other people are doing it, it's bad. But if they're doing it, it's okay.
I love
it's okay. It's okay, United.
Oh my God,
fans.
the WWE is gonna get sold to Saudis. I'm gonna stop watching the product. This is a bearable, and they're gonna go to. Shut the fuck up! You're still gonna watch it. I think I get the same correlations with soccer. It's like, I'm gonna stop watching my team because they're being bought by a fund or this. Seriously, like stop asking for the clicks there, and we'll go from there. But yes, Steve, WWE
So
9
many
billion he
wasted,
wants.
busted tweets today.
Last but not least, is it the last one?
Well, the obvious winner, folks.
Okay.
This is everything that's wrong with Italy, guys.
Il piccolo Diego ha scelto Osimhen come un eroe. Diego, okay, so he is a sick little boy. He chose Osimhen as his favorite player and wanted to represent him. So, Steve, I don't even know what to say, man. It's this is 2023. Blackface has been frowned upon, very racist forever, right? This is 2023. This is your official. No, this is what, Napoli magazine,
or whatever the account
Who-
is.
who do you-
It's just
how do you approve this, Steve?
well, we don't know if it's now with social media. You don't know what account if it's something that needs to be approved or not.
No,
It's
but this
just
is
something
Napoli
that-
magazine. It's not officially from Napoli.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. It just shouldn't be something that they should be doing. The thing that's frustrating, Vinny, is, and I get the situation. He's a little boy. He has his own problems, and they want to make him happy. There's other ways, guys. Like there's other ways to do this. We're in 2023, guys. We have a humongous problem, guys.
No,
We
but
have
Mark
a
is saying it,
humongous
Steve.
problem in this
If he
country.
would have worn the Batman mask and the blonde hair, everybody would have known who he is. Why the blackface?
I don't know, Vinny. And it troubles me because what I was gonna say is it's frustrating because you don't see this happening from the other leagues. Like
That's
maybe
very
it's just
well
not
said.
me who's not
Steve, no,
following them, but it continues to come out from Serie A. Now this one is not gonna ring too many alarm bells because people are gonna manage the situation, right? He's a child. He obviously didn't do this himself. Someone did it for him. He has a situation where he's not well. There's a little bit of sympathy there. But the root of the problem is that someone did it to him and found that it was okay to take a picture of it. And not only that, post it where the internet is forever. And no one thought that this was
I remember
a problem.
showing it to a couple of guys at Chicharo's, and some of the comments I got was, yeah, but you guys know in Napoli, they're not racist, huh? Like, that doesn't mean that they're racist. And I'm looking at them, and guys, they posted something in fucking blackface.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's racist. I'm just saying the act of blackface is something that is racist. That is it. That is all. And
and we know this took a lot to put it up, right, guys? We don't like to put up these things. It's the perfect segment because we could talk about just how this should not happen, guys. This is not something that we want to promote. It's just that it has to be part of this segment because it is that much of a busted tweet. So,
and when we think that Serie A is trying to get better. Anyways, I know it's not a Serie A tweet. I know it's not a official Napoli tweet, but it's just, anyways, let's leave it at that. Yeah, Liban hits 22. Who does that? Stevie P. We've gone through the match. We've gone through our questions. We did some busted tweets. We are at 55 minutes, just below our likes. We like that hour mark, but anything in closing before we let everybody go? Guys, don't forget Wednesday, Gio and Fabio usually do 9 p.m. He says he's going to have some sort of guest. Guys, keep up the great work. Love the content. Just more and more for you guys. Milanismo worldwide, even dropped last week. Milan Club Detroit. Love the brotherhood and sisterhood that we, all these Milan clubs around the world. And any new clubs, guys, that want to have their voices heard, please reach out to us, Presidente. We'll see if we could set something up. But in closing, Stevie, anything?
Yeah, for me, guys, what's important is this, guys. Thank you for tuning in. Subscribe, turn on those notifications, comment. We'll respond back. Tune in to Fabio and Gio with Coast to Coast. And let's continue creating that Calcio content, guys. There's great things that are going to be coming out. We have Serie A sit downs gonna come out with some stuff. We have Nima and the podcast. If you didn't listen to Nima and Gab Marcotti bicker and fight over the Super League and where it should happen or not, I joke about bitter. That's a great spaces that he recorded and he was able to share. Guys, there's some great Calcio content. You know, the Sempre Milan guys always put up some good stuff. The Calcio guys put up some good stuff. IFTV doing their stuff, and we continue to promote, and no one promotes us. So that's the beauty. That's the beauty of creating content, guys. So keep on giving us that support, and we'll keep putting out content for you guys.
Sorry, guys. Yeah, I forgot to put it up there. If you guys go take a look at the website, you'll be able to see the update maybe for next week. In closing, ovunque e sempre.
Forza Milan!
Forza Milan.